This causes is visible to us as symptoms. That's what is learned in organ. The second is we look what are the core symptoms of autism in that case. Okay, what the core symptoms I explained earlier, the three triads. How severe are each triad and each symptom in that case, and plus the concomitant symptoms. There are a lot of concomitants that is called the comorbid symptoms. I wrote so many I shown so many comorbid symptoms associated. What are the comorbid symptoms associated with that one? That forms the concomitant, and the three things becomes our autistic totality. So, in what severity that the person is having high sensitiveness, in what severity the person is having a food fads, in what severity is having a sleep disturbance, what is more associated with that core symptom? If you get that thing correct, you get a good autistic totality. This went okay. So in that, if you get the totality, you should know how to give the medicines. So our organon speaks about how to manage mental diseases. In two aphorisms, 10 to 30. So we have four types of mental diseases and management of four types of mental diseases. So you can place it in type 2 and type 4. We can manage both ASD and ADHD. You can see acute symptoms burst forth from the basic sora. That's what that's told in type 2. That there's a basic soric symptom, but there is sudden bursting out of a mania and due to some vexation, fright, or substance abuse, alcoholic, spirituous liquors. That has to be managed by non-soric medicines. And again after that, the Hahnemann says you can use some medicines. That is, see, you should learn aconic, belladonna, stramonium, hyoscyamus. The common delirious remedies we read about, belladonna, stramonium, hyoscyamus. And he also adds mercury to it. See, in acute symptoms, if you think of autism, where does mercury stand? If there is an excitation of this delirious mania, there is some role for mercury. Even Hahnemann in his times has found it has to be given in mental diseases. So mercury is very important. A medicine, maybe I never used that in mental disease. It didn't come to my mind. But belladonna, hyoscyamus, stramonium are all there. We use it in ADHD cases, different type of hyperactive disorders. These things comes. But I never thought of mercury. That's what I want to tell you. But Hahnemann in the aphorism 221, he has said about mercury too. In that list, there's only 5 medicines and 1 is mercury. So in acute cases, acute exacerbations, you give 4 known antisoric medicines. Hahnemann has given the list of 5 and it includes mercury also. After managing the acute phase, they would go for an antisoric medicine. So now for some next one. 226. So if in any type autism it's in type 4. First engendered and subsequently kept in mind itself, and after that they affect their physical, from mental to physical affections. That's what happens. It starts in mind. Okay, we'll interpret it as it starts in neuronal system, our nervous system. It's kept in mind itself in its behavior, and at last affects our physical body also. So it's in aphorism 226. How to manage it? Hahnemann says use of psychical remedies. That is, in the modern terms, we can use applied behavior analysis, psychotherapy, speech therapy, counseling, cognitive behavior therapy, all. First, you do the psychical remedies, but you should understand there is a miasm behind, and Sora medicine should be given at the end. It's so that autism also should be managed like that. You have to give all this medicine. ABA should be given, or teach should be given, CBT may be given, counseling should be given, counseling to parents also should be given. But basically you should give an anti-radical antisoric treatment. So now we have a opposite totality of the cause, the core symptom, and the concomitant comorbid symptom. You should give that an antisoric if it's an acute case, should give a non-antisoric medicines, and after that you should give a antisoric medicines. That's the methodology to give approach in autism. So if there is a comorbid symptom or acute, you make it totality of comorbid symptom alone and followed by antisoric. Other you give for the antisoric medicines. So in acute phase, anyway it's a chronic case, you are going to find a constitutional symptom, constitutional medicine. So if you have a constitutional medicine, you know what are the acutes of that. So if an acute exacerbation comes, you know which all medicines can come. So if it's a calcarea phase, calcarea card, you know the acute exacerbations will be presentations like belladonna, stramonium or something like that. So you know where to look and what to look for. So in any case, you take the chronic case, then you wait, you make a picture of what are acute medicines in come. In the acute phase comes, you keep that short acting acute medicines. So in the medicinal things, the most important rubric we think you can add is development of child arrested or slow learning to talk. I mean, that rubric covers most of the symptoms of the core symptoms. It contains, if you look at the Kent repertory, the medicines are agaricus, baratakar, calcarea phos, natrimur, nasfoscata, and sanicula. And after synthesis, it adds borax, calcarea carb, carcinosin, causticum, medornum, acid phosphorus, silicium, and sulfur. Okay, these forms the major medicines for the core symptoms. Okay, but there will be a lot of manifestation in comorbid symptoms. There are a lot of medicines will come. For sleeplessness, or lot of medicine will be there. But if you have to manage the main core medicine, core symptom, that has to, the difference between homeopathy and allopathy is that we will be able to reduce the core symptoms. And allopathy, we are not able to reduce the core symptoms. For core symptoms, they only advise the speech, ABA and everything, or learning therapy and everything. We may be able to help them in the core symptom because we have these much medicines, we can help it. And we know how baratakar helps, how calcarea helps. We all may be having some experience in dealing with this natrimur. In our book contains a lot of cases. I went through some of the talk and I saw lot of doctors have shared so many cases, different things. Even bowel nodules are there. And there is a relation between gut leaking syndrome and we have a bowel nodules. Similarly, in ADHD also we have a core rubric, mind, hurry, movements. In ADHD with hyperactivity, that covers major medicines. Belladonna, hyoscyamus, stramonium, baratralgum, sulfuric acid, calendula and thuja. So, you have to have different shades. In every medicine, you will be having different shades. These conditions also have different shades. The one person will be having a particular desire for salt, some other for music, some other for hard music, some other for light music, some for desire aversion to company, desire company, hyperactivity more, cheering the hair. So much hyperactivity, you have lot of other rubrics, lot of other symptoms. You have to make a very sharp individualization. That's the core in every autistic. We are managing autism. So that has to be done. So I just want to conclude this one telling that new concept brings out new possibilities in case taking. And totality is the key to any case. Totality is the key to any case. How we build up the totality is the art of a physician. That you have to make, how to elicit a symptom, how to find out the symptom, and your art. And matching and prescription of the correct medicine. From that symptom you have to match correctly what is the symptom that has equal shade to that symptom. That medicine, that's the skill of a physician. That is where the cure lies. If you have that skill, if you have that art in you, then only you can manage the autism. Because we all know the theories. Telling a theory is very easy, but to practice it in a real case, especially in autism where communication is the problem, there your communication abilities have to be very high. Your perceiving capacity has to be very high. That's the core in autism management. So that's my conclusion.
Sir, can you share a few cases related how you go about treating them? Can you share one or two cases?
Okay. Uh, this video. Okay. In cases, let me tell you, one case was, is something that we had in our book also. That person came was doing his child from Bangalore wasn't talking at all. Child wasn't talking at all. And they said you have to. I mean, he was in an apartment in Bangalore, and they said, okay, you go back to Kerala or have in kindergarten or admit the child to kindergarten. Maybe that it's because of that. So they admitted in a nursery, the kindergarten, and but still the child wasn't talking enough. They're having a problem, and they said there's some problem with the child, some problem with the child. So they took a pediatrician. Then they went to psychiatrist. They had an enhancer. They said, okay, this child is showing some symptoms of ASD. So what you have to do is said a child they have to some management is there, some speech therapy is there. You can do that. There are no symptom medicines for autism. So okay, they said okay, you go to they said they'll go back to Kerala, and when after coming to Kerala they said okay, is there any option? Okay, try homeopathy. So they admitted in a local school homeopathy. So came in Sadgamaya, and okay, we as usual we found we took the case, then we saw desire for soft was there, desire for music. After that, everything is totality. Autism treatment and any chronic treatment same. We don't have anything different in autism. Tension, grief, vexation, it was there in mother too, but I didn't look into that aspect then. When when I was prescribing Natamur for this child, I never took that aspect. Towards the grief of the mother was there. When when we were taking the case, we didn't see that. We didn't. I didn't think in that aspect of vexation of the mother. But after that, I remember that she was still. She was in Bangalore. She was alone. She was a great player here in Kerala. She was a native of Kerala. She married and went there. But she was a very athletic also. Athlete also. She was having so much social contact. But there, she was in a room alone. She didn't have so much friends. She was always listening to music and all. And she was very vexed. Her parents were there. Her parents were old. After taking the totality, but I never took her totality then. But I took the totality of the child also. This assault was there. This music was there. Late learning to talk was there. Natromove. Natromove first was given one potency. The next month, they said, doctor, there is improvement. The nursery teacher said there's improvement. But they said, okay, it may be due to be admitted to nursery, not due to medicines. But after that, improvements have been coming quickly, very quickly. Very quickly. The child was able to talk, just look into face, they were speaking like anything. Child was telling the rhymes when asked to. Then social interaction was there. The personal interactions became very quick. It may be that we have medicines for giving more stimulus to have that problem. I mean, covering that problem. So Natamur was helping that child. You look at the case histories of autism, Natromode plays a very important part. The three-mark remedy, like mind talk, slow learning to talk. Okay. And the other one, the other one I want to share is about a stramonium case. I mean, actually, when you hear that stramonium, what comes to mind is very fearful. Even when sitting in the OP, you can hear natrium making some sound, flipping your hands. That is common. Flipping of hands and all these are common. Flipping hands, making lick sounds, some some noise we are not able to understand what it means. A large sound. Every third you will be looking at him. The mother was very distressed because she couldn't control her child. Always violent. The child will be grasping everything in front of it. They can't go in bus. They will be grasping other person's hair. Something like that. They were very worried. And one thing we noted that the person won't sleep with lights off. Every time they want sleep, the mother has to be with him. There should be light on. Lights should be on. That's a very important symptom of stramonium also. And calcareous carb is also there. The child was very big and he was very voracious eater. So perversion in eating disorders are common in autism also because somewhere some gut problem is underlying there in autism. So stramonium after one that was given in Chennam potency. Stramonium Chennam was given. The next month when they came, the child didn't make any sound at all. For one single dose, give the response. That it continued for 3 months. The third month again it started. Now we gave stramonium Chennam followed by SL and BT. After third month again restarted. We again gave stramonium. It was followed by calcareous carb after 6 months, I suppose. But I want to tell you that stramonium by totality is this one. Fear of darkness, desired company, grasping things, that violent nature, that gives stramonium. So that is the second case. Hyperactivity is there, but once you give stramonium, it doesn't mean you have there's no effect in core. The core symptoms are not covered with stramonium. You may have to go for more. Repetitive activities are there, but more communication rubric is not covered much. So calcareous should be there. Calcareous force should be there. Something like that should be there. So only when you go to the core rubric, the real change will happen. If you prescribe on rubrics which are more on hyperactivity, more on sensory problems, more on intellectual problems, it may not be there. We do have a medicine, another medicine is Baratakap, very important medicine with there is intellectual disability along with autism syndromes. So Baratakap does it wonderfully. There's slow learning to talk, slow learning to walk. There's shyness. Shyness is a part of the autism also. They don't have to mix with other people. So that covers beautifully. Recurrent infections. It was there in Baratakap. And they see how the important the child is learning quickly, learning to speak. Wonderful response will get Baratakap. We start with 1,000 potencies mostly in autism. We start with 1,000 potencies in every case. But what I want to tell you is that you can, if the course rubric gives a given importance, that will have a change in the core, the main symptoms. That's where we want to make a change. It's not alone, on the hyperactivity alone, not in the sleep alone, on the gut problems alone. We want to make a change in the core symptoms. That's where we can show our metal compared to allopathic system. They said we don't have a chance of curing autism. The things that we have to make a case series and present to the public. Then only we can make it very scientific and efficient. We can show them. Otherwise, we can only share like this. But I hope this will be very impetus, give a great impetus for all of us to encourage all of us to make and try this, treating these core symptoms of autism. When that gives a good response with our medicines.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your. Yes, sir. Questions, you just unmute and please ask doctors. Sir will be answering your questions. You unmute yourself and ask questions. Otherwise, it will be lots of sound. Please unmute yourself and ask.
You can message me also, madam. If there's a problem in talking, you can message.
I think your voice is breaking. Anupam ma'am, you're talking, I think. Yeah, connected to the. Yes, ma'am, it's breaking. Anupam ma'am, can you type otherwise in the chat? We will ask. Voice is totally breaking. Yeah, questions, please.
Ma'am, may I ask?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Rashmi.
Manu sir, I am Ramya.
Yeah, Ernakulam.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
One thing I want to ask is whether we should take a rubric that the mother had a pregnancy stress, or is there something like that we can take when the mother has a stress? Should we take, and is there any rubric like that?
Actually, it is not purely Hahnemanian to take like that. I don't think so. It's a purely Hahnemann, but I think predictive people do take like that. The stress of the mother. I mean, between 19 and 24 weeks is scientific really, because that stress is being attributed to autism. So if you, it is. You should think like that. Maybe I don't know if a mother has a stress between 19 and 24 weeks, and autism is there, there's every chance that has contributed to development of an autism in child. So such a rubric can be taken.
Is there a rubric like that, or medicines? Are there medicines?
No.
Yeah, are there medicines like that?
No. You can't take ailments from vexation. You can't take ailments of mother. No. There's no rubric like that. Just take ailments from vexation. So that's what
ailments from vexation. Okay, sir. Thanks. So may I ask one more? I have found a child like he was talking, or the parents say that he used to say the rhymes, or he used to sing, and after 2 years or 3 years he deteriorated, and later on he is not speaking at all.
Regression is there. Hello? Regression is there. Yeah, yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that also comes under the ASD, no?
Yeah. The regression of speech, but it is said that agaricus matches more with that pathology. Regression of speech, agaricus more. Okay. And one other question I have: behavioral changes more since vaccines. Can we think of Tuja, Silesia, etc.? I mean, there's a question I had from one person. So. Hello, I had a question now.
So if it is after immunization, then it comes like Tuja and Silesia. And if it is...
And let me ask you, which immunization are you talking about? Which immunization? The child is having from immune vaccination from childhood. I mean, first month itself they are having vaccination. So which vaccine will you attribute it? In Tuja, Silesia, or with smallpox vaccines in the past. Now, if you are going to relate with every vaccine, after which vaccine? How are you connecting with vaccine is my question. I really don't know I really don't know how to answer that question, because which vaccine, after which vaccine? And what is the logic of giving a Tuja or after that? Bad effects vaccination is lot of medicines. Then how will you select one medicine? That's my problem. I always encountered this question, and I was after MMR. I mean, question was that after MMR, that's the most accepted question. The most talked about question after MMR measles vaccine. The child is having regression, both having at 9 months. You give it at 9 months, child is having regression of speech from 1 year itself. So that is the usual pattern. So everybody attributed that problem to the MMR vaccine, and they proved it is not like that. And we said that it should be because of mercury in that vaccine. But they said there is no mercury now. It was in the past, there is no mercury. Thiamersal is not now. But still, mercury is a reason for autism. But it is MMR is not a reason for autism, is what they are saying. But in symptomatology and the sequence level, most of the children, many children, do have a regression of speech after 9 months or 1 year. So the vaccine that is given near to the 1 year is MMR vaccine. So on what basis, which medicine will you select? Puja or Silish or Antitot? There is also Malandrinum. Here is another question is fish, mackerel, and everything. Have the meeting will end. The mackerel, means which the fishes we should eat. It's having mercury. Lot of fishes will be having mercury. Mercury poisoning is there. Industrial pollutants are there in sea, and fishes are having high amount of mercury, and not all fishes. So in Google says so, a list of medicine fishes are there. Really, I don't know to answer that correctly. Whether we can have fishes, the fishes in autistic children can have fishes or not, but they say it's better to have fishes than beef meat. At least two fishes, I mean, 2 servings of fishes a week, they are advising it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any more questions? Please unmute yourself and ask questions to sir. So, you usually give higher potencies from the beginning, or even
Yes,
very
sir.
grossly affected children, like for on psychiatric drugs, how you will go about those cases?
Yeah, madam, if it is even if it is in psychiatric cases, in the one I said about stramonium, they were having already the psychiatric medicines, and stramonium did wonderful reaction in Chennai potency. The only thing is that the vitality is to be done. Means what causes the order that gives all hints about which potency you should use. And he used the term the vitality. How the child is very tired, weak. If the pathology has made the child's vitality low, you go for low potencies. If it is not like that, it's reacting very fast, quickly, you give to high potency. The child after taking psychiatric medicine is low, pathologically low. It's not the pathology you should look. In certain cancers, pains of cancer, you give high potencies, no?
Yes.
You get wonderful result. It's not the pathology, but just on the vitality of the patient.
Vitality.
That we give the medicine. Yeah. That's what the Stuart Co says about that.
Yes.
Is it not?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful session. We are really indebted to you. You took time out of your schedule, and you could enlighten us. Thank you so much, sir. We'll be looking forward for more such sessions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
very much.
And everybody who joined this meeting.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.